So let us discuss the MCQ based questions of the chapter Surface Chemistry. I have taken the content from learncbsc.in because they have the quality of question which suits the level of students of class 12th board examination. So with due acknowledgement of the same, let us start with the question 1. The correct ascending order means from less to more of adsorption of the following gas on the same mass of charcoal at same temperature and pressure is. So three types of molecules are there and four different orders are there. So in such kind of question, what we have to see is that the extent of adsorption increases with increase in the surface area, molecular mass and polarity. So if we any option in which the sulfur dioxide will be given as the highest value should be correct. So now sulfur dioxide has higher value in case of A and B, but B has the order in which hydrogen, being the smallest molecule, has lesser mass. As a result, in the correct ascending order should be hydrogen and then methane and then sulfur dioxide, because the extent of adsorption depends upon surface area, mass of the molecule and its polarity. Let's see the explanation. Yes, B. So B says that the extent of adsorption increases with increase in the polarity and molecular mass. Let's go to the question number 2. The following measles take place only above. Okay, the formation of measles takes place only above which of these? So inversion temperature, Boyle's temperature, critical temperature, these were related with the gas laws. Kraft's temperature is that temperature which is linked with the mesolization process. So it should be Kraft's temperature. It is Kraft temperature. Next is collodion is 4% solution of which of the following in alcohol ether mixture? Okay, it is a knowledge based question. So you need to have this as general knowledge, that if it is collodion, then 4% solution of this will be which of these? If you remember that when we were preparing ultra filter, to decrease the pores of the filter paper, we were using nitrocellulose. Okay, so a collodion of 4% solution was prepared by using alcohol ether mixture and nitrocellulose. So D should be the right answer. Yes. Next question is based on adsorption isotherm. If V is the amount of adsorbate, and N is the amount of adsorbent, which of the following is related to adsorption process? Okay, X by M should be proportional to temperature or pressure. Okay, in adsorption isotherm we have seen the fraction of adsorbent by the mass of the adsorbate was directly proportional to pressure or temperature. If V is the amount of adsorbate and N is the amount of adsorbent, which of the following is related to the adsorption process? See, X by M should be proportional to pressure. So A should be the right answer. Option D is there maybe, but it is not the right answer. Right answer should be A. X by M is dependent on pressure. Okay, X by M is dependent on pressure at constant temperature. Okay. So next is, so in this case, although here option is D, but it should not be. It should be A. If V amount of adsorbate and N is the amount of adsorbent, then which of the following is related? So there is some mismatch in the questions variable and in the options given. Alright, so in this kind of question, you have to apply your own weight. So what is right over here, what I can see is x by m is equal to the function of pressure, not function of temperature. All right, so A should be the right answer in this case if the question would have been right. Let's go to the next question. A plot of x by m versus log of P pressure for adsorption of a gas on a solid gives in straight line with a slope. Okay, so if we convert the Freundlich adsorption isotherm into linear form, then the slope would be will become b 1 by n. Why so? In exponential form it is x by m is equal to k p to the power 1 by n. So if we take log both the sides, then 1 by n will come as slope. Means if we compare this equation with y equal to mx plus c, then 1 by n into k, all right, the log k, 1 by n into log k, in that case 1 by n will be the slope. Means if you take log both the sides, it will look like this: log x by m is equal to 1 by n log kp, and then further it can be opened. So log k plus 1 by n log p, alright, in that way it can be opened. So 1 by n here is acting as m part mx plus c. Alright, so k is constant, 1 by n will be there with p, so m is 1 by n. Alright, so 1 by n should be the right answer. Let us see. Yes, see here it is given. It is written in the exponential form. So it is, if you compare this equation with y equal to this, log k is nothing but c plus mx. So m is the slope of the curve is equal to 1 by n. Right. Next, the protective power of the lyophilic colloid is given by, it is given by gold number. All right, so gold number is a term which is used for protection of colloid. Sometimes we add certain protecting colloid to help the colloid not to get precipitated. All right, so that is counted in terms of gold number. This is nothing but the number of moles of NaCl required to prevent the precipitation of 10 ml of gold salt solution. All right, so there is a definition like that of gold number. So you can check the definition of gold number once. I can tell you the exact definition of gold number. So gold number is the amount in milligrams of a protective colloid, okay, which is just sufficient to prevent the coagulation of 10 ml of hydrogold sol when 1 ml of 10% NaCl solution is added to it. So coagulation of gold sol is indicated by a color change from red to purple. So any protective colloid, how much milligram of that has been used to protect the coagulation of hydro gold sol, 10% of that, 10 ml of 10% of that, when 1 ml of 10% NaCl is added to it. Okay, so that is called as gold number. So gold number is basically the protective power of the protecting colloid. Next is question number 7. Now let us see this answer. Yes, it is B, gold number. Next, 7. The coagulation values in millimoles. Yes, that means they are talking about gold number, millimoles. The coagulation value in millimoles per liter of electrolyte of coagulation arsenic sulfide sol are given. So in milligrams it is given. Okay, first is 52, second is 0.69 and third is 0.22. The correct order of coagulating power. Now if the value is more, then should that be equal to more, or if the value is less, should its value be less? That we have to check. So let us see the answer once. So it is said that third one, that means the one whose number of millimoles required is less, okay, has more coagulating power. So here they are actually talking about the Hardy-Schools law. According to Hardy-Schools law, the one which is required in less number to coagulate any other sol has more coagulating power. So see, magnesium sulfate is required in a very less amount to cause the coagulation. So its coagulating value is more. Its coagulation value or flocculation value is more. So lesser the millimoles per liter required, more is its coagulating power. Next is question number C. Question number 8. According to Freundlich adsorption isotherm, which of the following is a correct statement? Okay. So B is the correct statement. X by m is directly proportional to p to the power 1 by n. Okay. Alright. So although x by m is proportional to 1 by n, now here if you take the value of n equal to 1, so it will be p to the power 1. If you take the value of n to be minus 1, 0, if you take the value of n, for which value of n p should be 0, because 1 divided by 0 should become infinite. Alright, so means large number of or large value of n, for that p can be taken as to the power 0. Means if the value of n is so large, then 1 by n will become near to 0. So in that case, for the value of n, 1 and more than 1 to any extent is applicable. So all the three options they are saying are right. Okay, but formula wise x by m is directly proportional to p to the power 1 by n, and that is what we use. Now next question is 3 gram of activated charcoal was added to 50 ml of acetic acid solution. Okay, charcoal is what? Activated charcoal is nothing but adsorbent. After an hour it was filtered and the strength of filtrate was found to be 0.042 molar. Okay. The amount of acetic acid adsorbed per gram of the charcoal is, it's very easy. First of all, we'll find out the difference in the number of moles. All right. Then we'll find out, first of all, we'll find out the difference in the number of difference in the molarity. So difference in the molarity will be equal to how much? It will be, first of all, we'll find out 0.042 and 0.060. You have to subtract this, it will become 8. This will become 1, 0. Now this is for 1 liter. So for 50 ml it will be how much? So divided by 1000 multiplied by 50. So that value will be how much? That value will come out to be in grams. Then we have to divide that with 3 to get it in terms of per gram of charcoal. Alright, so this value 0.018, we have to divide by 1000 multiplied by 50. Now this value will come out to be 18 5s are 018. So it comes out to be 9 into 10 to the power 4 minus 4. This value is 9 into 10 to the power minus 4, and this is in terms of grams. So we have to divide it by 3 to find out in terms of per gram. So divide it by 3. So it comes out to be 3 into 10 to the power minus 4 gram. So in milligrams we have to find out. Okay, this was moles. Now this was moles. Now we have to convert this into grams. To convert this into gram, we have to multiply it with the mass of CH3COOH. So what is the mass of CH3COOH? CH3COOH. So 12 plus 4. So 24 for 2 carbon. 4 plus and 16 32. So it comes out to be 10 1 60. So this has to be multiplied with 60. Whatever we have got this much. So it has to be 18. Let us see. Yes. This is how we find out. This we got. This we got. Then we multiplied. This was for every 3 gram. 0.930 was for every 3 gram. So this has to be divided by 3 again. Okay, this has to be divided by 3 again. So the right answer should be 18. Because this 54 gram is for 3 gram. So for every 1 gram you have to find out. So for finding for every 1 gram, whatever value is coming, that has to be divided by 3. So C should be the right answer. We can calculate it. That's not a problem. Alright, so we'll calculate it. We'll use this value. Difference in the molarity is found out. Now whatever molarity is there, it is multiplied with 50 ml. Alright, so here divided by 1000 and multiplied by 1000 is manipulated to convert this into milligram. That is alright. So 0.90, this comes out as number of millimoles. This is number of milligram, 60 milligram, and this whatever is coming out is for, it is for 3 gram. It is for 3 gram. Now the question is that we have to find it out for every 1 gram of charcoal. So further this has to be divided by 3 and then it will become 18. So the right answer should be C. Okay. Next question is, during the adsorption of a gas on the surface of a solid, which of the following is true? Now when adsorption of any gas takes place, at that time what happens? System becomes stable or system becomes unstable? System becomes stable. So stability of the system increases. So in that case energy should be released. So if energy is released, delta G should be greater than 0. Delta G should be greater than 0. Delta H should also be greater than 0. So in which case delta H is greater than 0? Delta G less than 0 means the process is spontaneous and the adsorption is exothermic. And delta H is negative and entropy is decreasing. That is, delta H is negative. So C they are saying. Correct. So if energy comes out, then delta G should be less than 0. It should be negative. Delta H should be negative and delta S should also be negative. So it is true to say that C is right. Next is the best coagulant for the precipitation of ferric hydroxide sol. Now the best coagulant will depend upon the flocculating power, and the idea about flocculating power is given by Hardy-Schulz law, isn't it? Hardy-Schulz law. So according to Hardy-Schulz law, the anion which has got the highest number of charges has got the highest flocculating power. So here phosphate is also there and biphosphite is also there. So biphosphite has lesser number of charges than phosphate. So C should be the right answer. Let us check. Yes, C is the right answer because it has 3 negative charges. Next is which is favorable for physical adsorption. See, physical adsorption will be favorable if temperature is less and pressure is more. If temperature is less and pressure is more. So high pressure and low temperature. So C should be the right answer. Yes, C is the right answer. So whenever we go for any kind of blogging portal, then the answer may not be completely right. Okay, it is because it depends upon the content writer, who is writing, at what state of mind they are writing. Alright, so we have to apply our own wheat also. Although we get lots of ready-made material like this, so it is not completely dependable. So mostly it will be nice, but still we have to keep our own consciousness active. Let us see question number 13. Identify the positively charged colloid. Okay, positive. This is also a knowledge-based question in which you have to have your own GK. Identify the positively charged colloid. Why should hemoglobin have a positively charged colloid? Now, in case of arsenic sulfide, arsenic is also electronegative, means it is metalloid. Sulfide is also metalloid. Clay should be neutral. Hemoglobin should be neutral. Okay, gold sol. Now, gold is a metallic, so there are chances that gold sol should be positively charged sol. Okay. So, but here the correct answer is A, hemoglobin, because it contains Fe2 plus ion, heme group. The heme group contains Fe2 plus ion. So, hemoglobin is positively charged colloid. A. Alright. The stability of lyophobic sols is due to adsorption of covalent molecules on the colloid, the size of the particles, the charge on the particles, Tyndall effect. Lyophobic means the particles do not have affinity towards the solvent. So it should be C, charge of the particles. Same charge of the particles cause repulsion and does allow particles to settle down. So it should be does not allow the particles to settle down. So there are lots of typological error also in this. Okay, gold sol can be prepared by. Okay, how do we prepare gold sol? We prepare gold sol by. What is the method? We reduce it using formaldehyde. So formaldehyde, what happens to formaldehyde? Formaldehyde becomes formic acid, HCl comes out and gold sol is formed. So here the reaction is given. Next, the term absorption stands for both absorption and adsorption. C should be right. It's very easy. Yes. The extent of adsorption of adsorbate from solution phase increases with. Okay. From solution, the adsorption has to take place. So with increase in the amount of adsorbent in the solution, decrease in the surface of the adsorbent, increase in the temperature of the solution, and decrease in the amount of adsorbate. So I think it should be A or C. The extent of adsorption of adsorbate from solution phase increases with increase in the amount of adsorbate. It should be with increase in the amount of adsorbate. Okay. Yes, A is the right answer. The physical absorption of a gaseous species may change to chemical adsorption. The physical adsorption of a gaseous species may change to chemical adsorption with, okay, in what condition chemisorption is preferred? Decrease in temperature, increase in temperature, increase in surface area, decrease in surface area. So surface area is a kind of physical thing. All right, so if we increase temperature, then some old bonds can break and the new chemisorption bond can be formed. Let us see the answer. Yes, B is right. So with at high temperature, covalent bond will be formed as activation energy will be provided. So B is the right answer. Again, 19. Critical temperature is given. Now what is the meaning of critical temperature? The temperature below which, or I'm sorry, the temperature above which, howsoever the pressure is increased or volume is decreased, the gas cannot be liquefied. It is called as critical temperature. So critical temperature of CO2, SO2, CH4 and H2 is given. On the basis of the given data, predict which of the following gases shows least adsorption on definite amount of charcoal. So for this critical temperature, even if it is not given, we can find out by seeing the molecular mass and the polarity. All right, so it is least. So least should be that of hydrogen. Let us see. B. Okay. Now, if you will see the answer and the question, you will see that the answer is, the explanation is given. First of all, the spelling of explanation should be correct. Second, the explanation is given for the reverse of the question. Okay. So they are saying that SO2 will have the maximum adsorption. They are true. But in the question it is asked that which of the following gases shows least adsorption. Alright. So yes, least adsorption will be shown by, least will be shown by hydrogen, and highest will be shown by sulfur dioxide. So the question asked here is about least, not of highest. Okay, so the explanation given here is contrary. Okay, so this has to be understood here. Question number 20. So there are many MCQ questions in this. So what I am doing is, from every chapter I am doing the first 20 to just give you a kick start so that you can do the rest. All right. Now I will be testing a few such questions and then I will be using those questions for my purposes. So the first 20 questions I am giving you just for giving you a kick start so that you can do rest of the questions in the same manner. And you should not depend upon the answer. You should apply your own logic. All right, maybe the answers can be misleading. Okay, in many cases, like 2-3 cases I have shown you, the answers given in these online media or blogging sites are misleading many a times, because they are done by some confidential, some people who are kept, whose names are kept confidential, and they are like, remotely hired authors. Okay, so do not depend upon the answers given, depend upon whatever you think is right based on the standard textbooks knowledge. All right, so you can take the question definitely, but for the option you have to think of. Just do not depend blindly on the options or the correctness given in the blogging sites like this. Which of the following reactions which of the following reactions heterogeneous catalysis is involved? See, heterogeneous catalysis means what? The states of matter, that means the phase of the material, should be different. So in the first case, gas is there. Second case, gas solid gas is there. Third case, gas solid gas is there. Okay, and the last case, liquid is there. Now In the second option, gas, solid, gas is there, and the third option, gas, solid, gas is there. So I think 2 and 3 both are right. So if we have any option in which 2 and 3 are there, that should be the right option. So this is right and this is also right, and hence option A should be right. Let us check. Yes, option A is right. So okay. So in this way we have done 20 questions of surface chemistry. Okay, so you can do these 20 questions, rest of the questions below this on your own in the same way. Wherever you find that there is any misleading explanation, refer to your NCERT textbook. All right. So any concept which is beyond the scope of NCERT book will not be used to frame MCQ questions in even in your board exam. So all the MCQ questions, textual matter or the content will be from the textbook. It can be between the lines, it can be in text, it could be a ready-made question, but it will not be beyond the scope of NCERT book. So you don't have to hunt for the MCQ questions from in various websites, because they also depend upon NCERT book only, because it is a unclaimably very nice book. Okay, it is written by many authors, so all other small authors depend upon NCERT book. So you can follow NCERT book for getting the right answers. Now next I will be preparing the MCQ questions for chapter 4, that is chemical kinetics.